Welcome back to Fast and Forceful, everyone. You are the CEO. We are Monica Bozinov and Simon Severino, helping you be fast in your decisions, take better decisions without any friction. Let's do this. And here we are.
Hi, Simon.
Monica, what do we do today?
We are going to talk about risk taking and legacy code. Super important.
What is legacy code?
Legacy code is old source code that is inherited from maybe from an older program, and it is slowing you down. It's obsolete. It's difficult to deal with. And as human beings, we by default end up with some inherited legacy code. And it's getting in our way when we take risk.
Oh my God, yes, I can resonate with that.
Mhm.
When you're working with, even in a marriage, right? When you have a conflict and oh, that thing again and again, we are discussing that thing again. We discussed this
Yeah.
400 times.
Yes.
It's coming again. That is source code, right? Code depth, old stuff.
It's old stuff that and it goes uh, underneath the radar, much um, much like ghost code. It's there for like it arrived at some point in time,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes below the radar, so you are not aware that it's there, but
Yeah.
it's playing on repeat.
I had this with the second book. When the publisher asked, hey, let's do a second book, I said, no. Why not, Simon? Because I'm so burned out from the first one. And so I was bringing the baggage of
Mm-hmm.
something that was gone already
Mm-hmm.
in the past. I
Yeah.
could start neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I could even start excited.
Yes.
But I had some baggage from the past on me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's take a look at the risk tool that you have.
Mm-hmm. We can be taking not enough risk or too much risk. We can take
Mm-hmm.
risk in a way that we cannot handle, or we can take risk in a way that we can handle. Those are the four. So we can be rigid, naive, defensive, or capitalizing.
Yeah. So can you explain, just so I understand, the willingness to risk?
Yeah.
Is that being willing but not having the knowledge and the skill set? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Do I want to risk? Yes or not? No, today I don't want to risk it. I
Okay.
play it safe. Oh, today,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, today I want to risk. I'm in the mood. Let's go. Let's risk. Let's try. Let's discover.
Okay.
And the ability is I can handle risk. I have a
Mm-hmm.
process. I have risk management in place. Uh, there is there are mechanisms in place that
Mm-hmm.
if these things get too fast or too scary, those mechanisms will slow us down.
Brilliant.
There are stop losses. There are
Yeah.
invalidation points. There are
Yeah.
exit options.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can I handle risk?
Yeah. So that's about having the structure in place
Yes,
to deal with whatever happens.
because you need risk management
Yeah.
in in life in general. I think uh, I was recently reviewing. There are two words that I did fall in love in my 40s that were not
Mm-hmm.
even present in my 20s. I didn't even know what it is in my 30s. And in my 40s, those are the two words I'm in love with: risk management and cash flow.
Yeah.
And while I say risk management, half of my room is falling down. So, yeah, in my 20s, I didn't even think about these things. And
Mm-hmm.
now in my 40s, those became the two words that I'm using most during the week. So if we stay with risk management, imagine a friend of yours gets a windfall, receives $100,000 from an uncle that passed. Now, how many of your friends have an actual process to get that money to work, which means
None.
a little bit of risk, like some stocks in there, not just everything in bonds, some stocks. So something that's slightly risky, but in the right amount of risk, a risk they can handle. So if they have that, they are capitalizing. Now those 100,000 will become 200,000 3 years later, 400,000 6 years later. So they're capitalizing. But most of my friends, they get 100,000. It just stays flat at 100,000 because they are either rigid or defensive, or some of my friends, they are naive. They put it into something, a one-off opportunity that then a year later turns out it wasn't a great opportunity. So
Yes.
the
So
100,000 are now 20,000.
or they say, "Yay, let's go on vacation."
Well, yeah, that would be that's a different option. Then you just enjoyed them. Okay.
So let's take a look at the capitalization part.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you need to be willing and to be able to handle it.
Yes. So those are the two, being willing and able to handle.
Yeah.
Now, remember last time you mentioned Tom Sosinov talking about the resonance body.
Mm-hmm.
So being having the structure on the outside, that's just one part of it. Do you have the structure on the inside? Do you have the resonance body that will give you the right information? That's the experience of the risk. That's the structure on the inside.
Yeah.
And Tom Sosinov is very much talking about you have to actually do the risk taking. You have to start learning, and that's how you build, right, the knowledge and the resonance body so that you can listen to yourself. Because if you are taking risks, building, like maybe you start growing, the more you grow, the bigger the risks become, right? Now I'm not just employing one person. I'm employing a whole team. 10 people, 100 people. Now the money that I have to invest, it's not 10 grand, it's 100 grand. Now the risk level does increase, right? The actual risk you're taking is becoming bigger. Now you need to have that resonance in your body that gives you the right information to start acting. That's the inner structure that you need. And this is where the legacy coding comes in. Because you were coded, you inherited a lot of beliefs. Most of the things that we all know about money and investments and how safe it is to go out into the world and do our big thing, we learned before the age of 6. So our parents, they lived in a very different world. Most of us did not have parents that were entrepreneurs, that were actually investing, that were actually hiring people, right? That were making big moves, that were building a tech company. The risk that they actually did that is kind of non-existing. So they were teaching you how to be safe in the world. A very different skill set than what you need now. They were teaching you how to be safe in the existing world that they knew.
I don't know
Not
in
like you.
Sweden, but here in Austria, the whole education system was designed to have basically compliant citizens of the empire.
Exactly. That is the entire educational system. Where did the educational system come from? Well, it started in the Industrial Revolution when they needed manpower. They needed labor, people that were compliant, right? The whole like ringing the bell,
Yeah.
in the
Smart
school system
enough that you can build stuff in but not too smart that you start questioning everything.
because you won't be compliant, right? So think Pavlov's dogs. They want you compliant, not taking risks, not going outside of what is expected of you. So that is how we have been conditioned for several generations. And that is how you were conditioned. And now add to that the effect of epigenetics. There's been experiments, like they took a rat and they exposed it to the smell of cherry blossoms. And every time she felt that smell, they would give her a tiny electric shock, effectively giving her a phobia of cherry blossom smell. They bred the rat. They exposed the grandchild of the rat to cherry blossom smell. And the amygdala just went, pew! She was conditioned, the grandchild was conditioned to have a fear of cherry blossoms or the smell of cherry blossoms. That is the conditioning. That is the legacy code. We're talking about 3 generations. There is actual research happening now indicating 7 generations. If you go 7 generations back, Simon, how much risk, how many disasters have those generations experienced before you? How much is their coding focusing on safety, not risk taking? That's the legacy code we're up against. And the taller you build, right? If we're building a 1-story building, if the foundation is not quite leveled, there's no big consequences. If you're building 22 stories tall, like some of the people watching this show, you better make sure that the foundation is leveled. You want to eradicate all of the legacy code that is not supporting your growth and your expansion. This is super important. Otherwise, right, we have this expression in the industry of entertainment, right? You might end up Charlie Sheening yourself. Don't want to do that.
What is Charlie Sheening yourself?
There's this, right? Charlie Sheen was super successful and then everything crumbled.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, due to his own fault. It was not a forced error, right? It was his
Self-sabotage.
unforced error,
Yeah. Yeah,
self-sabotage.
yeah.
If you look in the tech world, people that started out with really good intentions and then they become really powerful, and you're going, what happened to this guy? Right? He wanted to save the world, and now it's like he's crazy. Why? They didn't deal with the legacy code.
Yes, I see tech teams more and more
Mhm,
instead of telling me, their long-term plan and what those repeating activities are that they're doing towards getting there, they tell me this launch is so important, it's in 5 weeks.
mhm.
And everything depends on that one thing.
Yes.
Or this partnership. I have one partnership with this platform. And everything depends on that one partnership. So when that partnership goes well, they are euphoric. And when it goes bad, they are totally in panic.
Mhm.
But they
So
could
they
escape the
started out,
panic by having a
yes,
10 years plan and having different partnerships. Instead, they put all the eggs in one basket.
yes, because they're zooming in, trying to stay safe because the world as they know it is getting more and more risky. It's more and more dangerous because they're growing so fast. They are not.
And you know what's
Uh,
funny?
ex-
It feels safe. So you have one big partnerships with, let's say it's HubSpot, right? And so you
yeah.
have this big partnership. It
Mhm.
feels safe. Or um, you are amazing with Instagram. So it feels safe because this one thing, or you are employed and you are the vice president of Morgan Stanley. It feels so safe.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, in this quadrant, it's the naive quadrant.
Yes.
It's the
But it
most risky, the
mhm.
highest risk with the lowest ability to maintain success.
But it is according to the legacy code.
Yeah,
Stay safe, honey. Stay safe. Get a job. Get someone you can rely on, and now you are safe.
yeah,
This is the legacy code. We're looking for the one thing.
yeah.
That's how we were conditioned. And the taller you build, the more this, right? Whatever you resist persists. It will kick back. It will be more persistent. And now you will zoom in, trying desperately to find that one thing. And it will just take one bad decision, one change in the marketplace, and you're gone. Because you were not able to hold the entire structure.
And it's counterintuitive, right? Because your
Mhm.
parents would say, "Oh, great, you made a great choice. Yeah? You put
Yes.
all your money into this one
Yes.
house that we've built over generations. It's a
Yeah.
great bravo,
Yeah.
right?" And the opposite is true, because now you have maximized from a risk management perspective. You have put all your eggs in one basket,
Mhm.
and that basket is not in your control. So
Yes.
if you are the VP of JP Morgan, it's not in your control. The CEO can fire you tomorrow.
Mhm.
And so you have put all your eggs in one basket, and the basket is outside of your control. That's naive.
That's naive. But it feels like capitalizing because of the legacy code, the underlying code saying, make sure, honey, that you are safe. Right? I remember that the first time I fired my boss, I had to do it twice because I fell flat on my first face the first time. And I was out walking with my mom, and my mom looked at me and she said, Monica, Dad and I, we do not understand you. Leaving your job, right? Everything Dad and I ever wanted was to be safe. That is the conditioning in most of us. And it's the primal, right? This is the legacy code, staying safe. So we will lose focus whenever we get too far out of the comfort zone. And we will start zoning in on the one thing that feels safe.
I want to be safe too. I'm like your mom. I want my kids to be safe. I want me to be
Yes.
safe. Well, with me, I like also adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of my family, me as a father of three, I want everybody to be super, super safe. Now,
Yes.
what is safety? You might say, yeah, but Simon, being on your own, being self employed, that's the most risky thing you can do. And I say, oh, really? Compared to what? Let's go to the other options, right? I, I feel like the only safe thing as a father of three is to have 5 to 7 income streams going on at all times, and
Mm-hmm.
having most of those be in your control. So if you win, it's your responsibility. If you lose, it's your responsibility, so that I stay sharp, I stay accountable, and I can get better at them. That's
Yeah.
why I review a journal, I write them down, I discuss this with you and with the Sprint Club members. That's why we review those things and we look at those things.
But that's the outside structure, right? And you have to be
Mm-hmm.
able to stay in your cognitive brain to
Mm-hmm.
continue to build the outside structure of those 5 to 7 income streams.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow the inside structure that depends on the legacy code, now you will hone in on one thing because that feels really good. It feels really good inside the system, even though it is counterintuitive. And at some point, when you grow, at some point, this legacy code will start operating almost like malware because it
Hmm.
will get you in trouble over and over again. And now you're constantly putting out fires, constantly running around because you were unable to stay in your cognitive thinking and make rational decisions.
We have to go to the internal structure. How to
Yes.
approach that? What's the lay of the
Yes.
land?
So we need, this is the problem with that. I mentioned it's almost like ghost code, right? You cannot see it. It's like reading the label from the inside of the bottle. You can't. So you have to have some support, exterior support, observing your actions.
Yeah.
So if you have a really good team, that can happen, right? This happened again. Why did this happen? What was the trigger that caused us to focus in on one thing, to lose the perspective? But you need, the most effective thing is having a mentor, a coach, a thinking partner, someone on the outside that has the understanding, that has the know-how to recognize. Because they will recognize the pattern on the outside. They will be able to read the label. So you have to bring it up to awareness. That's the first thing. As long as you are not aware, you cannot change something you're not aware of. This is why you need to have someone trusted on the outside to see the pattern coming up. And Simon, I bet you see this happening all the time.
In the Sprint Club, we share the plan, right? Hey, guys, this is my plan. Criticize it. What am I not seeing? And they
Mm-hmm.
make a screenshot of the focus card, right? Like today in the morning, uh, um, somebody shared their focus card and said, give me feedback, right? So that's one way. We make a plan. I intend to do this, and then we offer it to the others and we tag them and we say, find what I'm missing. So am I overlooking anything? Is this a good plan? What do you think, guys? Would you enrich it? Do you have a better idea? Because most in the Sprint Club, they don't have a huge team, right? They don't have a board. And even if you have a board, you don't want to ask them stuff every day. You don't discuss with your board things every day. But as a business owner, there are hundreds of small decisions that we have to take. And that's why speed comes in, right? Because imagine for all these small decisions, you take a ton of time. You are impeding learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can do a quick draft and then put it out there and get some feedback, I think that's amazing.
Yes. And then you have to go a week, 3 months, you have to look back and see what did not happen. And that's where you discover the legacy code. Because I said I would have this many sales conversations, and I didn't. I said I would have these many outreaches on LinkedIn or wherever you get your leads or your connections, the warm connections, and you didn't, right? Why did that not happen?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or I said I would make this investment, I would spend this much money, and I would do it like in this area, and I avoided taking action. Why did that happen? So that's when we look back, the source code can only, or the legacy code can only be discovered and revealed when we look back in time. What didn't happen?
You know what's funny? Warren Buffett was once like criticized. Hey Warren, why do you share everything, your strategies, your tactics? Why do you share it in public? People can steal it and do it. And he goes, oh yeah, you know how many steal my strategies, even if they are there in public? Almost nobody,
Yep.
because strategy is cheap, execution is the thing, and no, most people don't execute, not consistently, not over time.
Yes. And that is where the nervous system will kick back and hijack, right? The nervous system will send signals to the amygdala. The amygdala will hijack the thinking brain, and you will reverse engineer why you didn't take action. So when people come and they didn't take action, right? In the quarterly alignment workshop, when they didn't take action, they will always give you a really good reason, Simon, right? And they will say, well, Simon, you see, this happened, and then I saw, so I decided not to. Heard that?
Oh, yes, totally. I have a great example actually. So I I shared this over the last months. In I went into experimenting
Mm-hmm.
with one part. So on the left side is how we optimize sales, right? Prospecting, closing, referrals. Then you make money, and then part of that money you put it to make you money while you sleep. And we're achieving a 16% CAGR. And two of those things I've been doing for a very long time, real estate and compounding, which is stock picking. But we have started an experiment, and I was the guinea pig, and I started a spreadsheet, and I'm doing it live in front of everybody. And that's the income portfolio where we sell options. That thing is a miracle. It's a gift from the gods. It's making 49% annualized. I mean, it's so much money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically giving us money
Mm-hmm.
on repeat. And I'm sharing all these traits live in the Sprint Club. And so some, of course, are doing them and also making a lot of money. But some of them, I meet them, let's anonymize, and I say, hey, okay, how are your traits going? And they go, oh, I didn't do them. Okay, interesting. Why? What's holding you back? And now, of course, excuses, right? So I could say, well, the amount of money that I have available for that is not big enough. That's one, and there are other excuses, but we can stay there, right? If you say the amount is not enough,
Mm-hmm.
here it makes maybe sense,
Mm-hmm.
but doesn't really make sense, because if you cannot turn $100 into $200, you are not building the system that will turn 100K into 200K, 100 million into 200 million. It's the same system that you need to build, and you can build it better with $100 actually, because there is less stress.
Exactly. And that's my point. When smart people know what to do, they agree with you, this is what we're going to do, and they don't do it, it's not because they're lazy, it's not because they're stupid, it's the nervous system hijacking the brain. This is the legacy code. When it happens over and over and over again, it's not about their intellect, right?
Yeah.
It's the stress response misfiring, putting you into fight, flight, freeze, fawn.
Mhm.
And the fawn is, yes, Simon, I get it. Yeah, right? That's fawning. They're bonding with you as the leader in the group, but they're not executing because the amygdala hijacked the cognitive brain. Now, blood leaves the brain, goes into arms and the feet to run away, right? We become stupid.
Because the body is afraid of the success that it could experience.
Yes, this is the legacy code. Stay safe.
Mm.
What Simon is telling you to do is not safe because this is new. This is new territory. This is outside of my comfort zone. I have never done this before. It reminds me of when like I said, when I fell flat on my face once, right? I did try to invest once, or even, right? My dad had a company and he went bankrupt because he took a big risk. That sits in the nervous system. The nervous system is constantly scanning environment for risk. So if we have experienced big disasters, and most of us have, I say, like, if you have been in business for 6 months, you have financial trauma, right? Because things did not work out. So now your nervous system is jittery and you're not taking actions, and you will re-engineer the explanation after the fact happened. And this is what I call the dog ate my homework excuse, right? It sounds like logic and it's not. And
Yeah.
this is where you, as the leader, need to point out, okay, we have an issue. There is a legacy code. There is something that you're not seeing that is preventing you from taking action. And once we have, like, that is my job. I have this map over the nervous system and I can identify that really quickly. But we need to have the awareness. Otherwise, what I'm saying sounds like just crazy talk. But when you see the dog ate my homework excuse coming up over and over and over again, that's when they need different support to prevent it from acting out like malware in their system. You remember when I love that when we were at the when you had your book launch with Jay,
Mm-hmm.
and someone wrote in the chat, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
right? And expecting a different result. It's
Mm-hmm.
supposedly an Einstein quote. I don't think it actually is. I think I researched that once.
Mm-hmm.
But I see it differently.
Mm-hmm.
That is not doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, is not the definition of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
It's the definition of a small business owner. Because whatever you are doing is obviously not working. And
So
yet
you would
you do the same thing.
interrupt the pattern by
Yeah.
tapping or by doing breath work?
So we have to identify exactly what is going on in the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes just the understanding actually will help. But sometimes it's so stuck in the nervous system that we cannot shift it by cognitive thinking.
Mm.
And that's when we need to bypass the brain and talk directly to the nervous system. Tapping is one way to do that.
That's a
There
great
are
way,
other
guys.
ways.
Monica did it with us. She started here and then here and then here, and we experienced live our our state shifting
Yeah.
from worried
Yes.
to I'm fine, I got this.
Yes.
Everything is fine.
And here's the thing, right? When we do that, what a lot of people want to do is they want to stay in the story. So they want to stay in the reason why they did not do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cognitive thinking. And talking the story, this is the issue I have with storytelling. Telling the story reinforces the story.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that. You want to acknowledge all of the emotion. It's called affect labeling. So you just want to name the emotion, the frustration, all of the things that went bad, because that's what the nervous system is dealing with. You hear people telling the same story, that small business owners that stay small, they will tell the same story over and over and over again. We have to change the story. And that can be achieved by tapping. There are other tools to do that, but the story needs to shift, and it doesn't happen in the brain. The brain is a tiny processor, right? You, as the business owner, you are the vessel, you are the fuel, you are the engine, you make it happen. You don't think it, you make it happen by taking action. And that is why the coding has to change.
And that was beautiful. We experienced it live in the 200K
Hmm.
club.
Hmm.
And I wish people could experience it who are listening right now. Where can they go and experience it?
Well, you can DM me. Like if you know that you have if you see a repeated pattern or someone has told you you have this pattern, you're avoiding this thing, DM me on LinkedIn and we can have that conversation. Or you can come to the strategy sprint. Like I'm in the, you can send me a DM in the strategy sprint,
Let me show
right?
you guys how you can send it DM in the
Because
Sprint
you and I are
Club.
both active in the room
Yeah,
all the
totally.
time.
So some people just post directly here, but there is also this button right here where you can send a direct message to Monica
Mhm.
and to all the other 245 sprinters in here. And if you click them, you can look at them and who they are and what they're doing, and you can actually send them a direct message. And
That's what I do when I want to get hold of you.
yeah, and it works. It works. I
It
enjoy.
does.
I
Yes.
enjoy. And this it comes back to we're excited, we build something, and then we send it over. Like you make a draft, you send it over to me, and then I give you feedback. So now you are relaxing and I am doing that. And same thing for me, right? I say, hey, Monica, I have this idea for this show. This is my draft and I'm excited. And I send it over. And then I relax because now you are giving feedback. And that's a way for entrepreneurs, for creative people to self-regulate, right? Go into that excitement, build it, stay in your action, but then also have a partner, a space where you can actually put it, you relax, you do something else, you get feedback. And that those waves of excitement and relaxation, I think that's the creativity flow.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be, you don't take perfect action. You take imperfect action, right? That's another sign that there's something going on underneath the surface. It's when you start just planning and planning and planning and planning. That's avoidance, right? We move the energy up in the body and we stay in the thinking mind and nothing happens. You need to go down once again into the body resonance. We have to take action. So we have to be in the body, we have to feel what we do, and then we have to take action. That's how you create progress, not by thinking about it.
There is a great passage in Rick Rubin's book. I forgot the name of the book, but it's really about the creative process. Maybe the title is even the creative process. Rick Rubin, his newest book, and there is a passage that says, "What do we do when we are stuck, when we don't know anything, where we are in the when we are in the dark? We crawl our way in the dark."
Mm-hmm.
I loved that because that's the entrepreneurial life. You never have enough information, enough budget, enough time. You never have certainty. And so you're
Mm-hmm.
always in the dark or half dark. And so what do you do when you're in the dark? You crawl, because by crawling, you move forward, you explore the territory, and you will find out. You will find out where are the angles, where are the resources. Uh, but the point is to keep moving. Let the body is moving. You're moving forward. You're exploring territory.
And you're not thinking your way forward, you're doing, right? It's action taking. Crawling is action taking. It's
Exactly.
not philosophy. It's not hoping that the universe will provide. You are the vessel, you are the fuel, you are the engine. It's up to you.
I love this. Monica, what are we doing next week? I loved
I
this.
have no idea. We will have to figure it out.
We'll figure out. And the way we do it, it's in the Sprint Club. We do back and
Yeah.
forth ideation and brainstorming, exactly the way we described it. We get
Mhm.
excited and then we give it back and forth until it it becomes something, gets form, gets heavy, and then we know we are onto something, and we bring it back to you guys. So next week again, fast and forceful. Monica Bozinov, everyone, Simon Severino. See you on the other side. I love you guys. Bye bye.